to estimate that, and I could show you that maybe this afternoon. Welcome, everybody. It's Friday, the 10th of June. Fun Friday, 2022. I'm not quite dressed in Hawaiian gear, although it is not my typical black. So I am out of uniform for Fun Friday. Hey, you know what? Butch wants to make an appearance. Have you guys met Butch? Hold on a second. Oh my goodness. Oh, there's little Butch.
Hi,
what
baby.
You doing, buddy? You're being good. Yes.
Lovely.
Isn't he great?
He looks like
How
my
old
little
is he?
guy, except mine's black.
Uh-huh. What was the question?
How old is he?
We don't know. We got him
Perfect.
like 5 years ago, and he's just been hanging out, and he's got 3 legs. So he's got his drag bag because you can't really control his lower body.
Oh.
So he wears a diaper, and his rear section is inside a bag.
So
So
what is
just
America?
in case, any Tootsie Rolls come out, they're contained. So. Who else? Anybody else got an animal you want to showcase today?
A hammer.
Oh, that's good. Catherine, I see your cat.
That's one of mine. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
My other one was on my lap a second ago too.
Yeah, actually, I don't know if you guys follow Shannon on Facebook, but my wife, I think, has posted pictures recently of our chickens, which my daughter's very excited about. She's named every one of them. She just renamed 2 of them, I think. This one was Peanut. Now it's Tenders. Okay, so chicken tenders. And she's attempting to train them to come when they get the command, winner, winner, chicken dinner. That's apparently the command, and she's working on training them to come in such an event. So I got a couple chicken jokes for you today. If you would all like to hear a joke, since it is Fun Friday, we should do that. You're right, Gail. We should. All right. So let me go ahead and pull up the jokes that I was just looking at. It says here, we've plucked 75 of the foulest chicken jokes. Okay, very good. What do chickens tell scary stories about? The poultrygeist. Huh? Yeah, that's good. What do chickens grow on? Eggplants. Meh. What sound does a negative rooster make? Cock-a-doodle don't. Let's see, another good one here. What do you call a bird that's afraid to fly? Chicken. All right, one more. How do chickens feel when you remove their feathers? Plucking terrible. Now you know. Okay. Anybody else with some lightheartedness this morning? Some frivolity? Anyone? Okay. Well, I say, oh, hey, Gail, I saw you wave. You got something for us?
Yeah. What did Spartacus say when the lion ate his wife?
I don't know.
Nothing. He was gladiator.
As you were. Good times. Well, it's good to see you all. I was thinking today a bit about something that, well, just as we were going live here, Linda said, John, you haven't congratulated me yet. And I'm not up to speed on all the various wins that you guys have had. And so I thought it would be a good idea, just because I think it's always a good idea to acknowledge and celebrate, what's working in our lives. Just heard something bang outside. I don't know. I see a bit of wind. I'm going to be experiencing my first hurricane season. I haven't lived on the East Coast in a long time, so we'll see how this goes. But yeah, winds. I want to focus on that because, well, let me start with this. I had a transition, and I had certain business activities which I was relieving myself of to take on these other ones, but now it takes time to ramp up these other ones. And so when looking at statistics with actual either revenue generated or customer acquisition or whatever, when I look at statistics and I see a downtrend or just a down stat, doesn't necessarily have to be a trend, that would be worse, okay, but just a down stat, I tend to get into fix it mode. Okay. So like right now, money, production, customers, right? So I start like driving. That is my reaction to a down stat, assuming that I'm looking at the stats, which is something that I think everybody should do, right? Because what we track, we can improve. Okay. But taking it a step further, what we track, we can improve, but also what we celebrate, we can also optimize, right? In other words, validation, and I know this word has come up a few times this week. I've heard it said that what you validate expands. Okay, so the more I give attention to the down stat itself, right, the more I suppose I could be reactive to that and get frantic or whatever, right? So it's like, we got to work now, we got to do it, holy crap, right? So that's, I know it's in my nature to do that, right? So how do we balance that? Because I know that when I feel good, I do good. When I'm emotionally up, my stats go up. Okay, if I'm reactive and holy crap and frantic and whatever, then okay, so what we validate, we get more of that. So it's important, I think, for us to have some attention deliberately, especially if we're experiencing a reduced, production or lesser result in some area of our life. Let's say you were, and for the example of like fitness, all right. So let's say you were targeting a certain amount of body fat, weight loss kind of a thing, and let's say you gained a pound or a kilo or whatever, right? Because I know we got people in using different scales, okay, but let's say you gained one instead of this week versus the the losing of 2 or whatever, and now that would be a negative statistic. So if we park on that, I think what we can tend to do, and what I can tend to do, is identify with it. In other words, my identity can be commingled with or sort of locked into that negative statistic. Okay. But if I remain detached from it, which I can do by observing other factors, and yes, wins, right? If I remain objective about stuff and not get into the thick of it emotionally and physiologically, well, then, we could simply, optimize and correct course, because we are validating and recognizing that we're able to do so. So where I'm going with this is, a lot of times people have identified themselves with or as their problem, their failings, their blunders, right? So if you've ever heard someone who may or may not have said these exact words, but they are vocalizing that they are a failure. They don't have to exactly say I am a failure, but the beingness, the character, right, that's producing that sort of that's how they're showing up in the world, right? That's a tough one, right? Because look, if someone identifies as a failure, or someone who's born to struggle, or bad luck and whatever, then all of the instruction in terms of like the books we're reading, I know we're into Proctor's book now, You Were Born Rich. Mandy, you guys just finished that one, so well done on that. But all this I think very instructive, ideas, methods, training, philosophy, right? All of that kind of falls on deaf ears if the person identifies as the failure or the person who's a struggler. In fact, I've had people in like business settings call and say, I'm struggling with such and such. And I get where they're coming from with that. Okay. But I would ask people, in that context, can we just stop right there and just affirm that you have struggled with that? That's the truth. That's the past. Okay. And now moving forward, we're going to go ahead and we're not going to identify with the struggle. So let's just shift time on that. Okay. So instead of I am struggling, I have struggled. That may have been 5 minutes ago, but it's not now. You guys remember the cartoon, the Lion King, where Simba leaves the tribe and whatever and goes into the jungle to eat, bugs and snails and stuff, and Hakuna Matata and all this, and forgets that he's the king, the rightful king, right? He forgot. He didn't know who he was anymore. He was hanging out with, I guess a pig, and what was the other guy swinging from the trees? Some lemur or something, I don't know. But at one point, he's called back to the pride, I guess would be the correct word, and he meets with Rafiki, the wise monkey, the baboon. Right? Does anybody remember this? I'm seeing a bunch of blank stares. Okay, well, I've seen a lot of children's movies, a lot. Okay, and so Rafiki, the wise, baboon guy, he at one point, Simba's bemoaning his, fate and whatever, and Rafiki takes a stick and whacks him in the head. So here's this monkey, right, who's considered like an elder and wise creature, whacks the lion in the head, and Simba's like, well, "What'd you do that for?" And Simba or Rafiki says, well, "It doesn't matter. It's in the past." It was like 2 seconds ago. It doesn't matter. It's in the past. And then he's talking some more, and he takes the stick and he goes to whack him again, and Simba ducks. And so Rafiki, the monkey, says, but we can learn from our past. Okay, so maybe not terribly profound for the purposes of our adult lives and our real problems and whatever, but what a great metaphor. What a great metaphor for that. So what's the difference between the reaction of the first time the stick came and he got hit and he was, why me, right? That sort of a thing. Why'd you hit me? Okay. And then the second time, which we could say is much more objective. Sure, it's still a problem. Here's the problem. The stick is coming. But rather than being identified with the lion who gets hit with sticks, identifying objectively, with no emotion about it, right? You duck. I mean, there's a problem. Here's the solution. And so we can learn from this stuff, but not if we're identified as and consistently validating the causation or the problem as being cause. In other words, and we've gone back to this again and again, cause and effect, right? Which is really every topic we ever talk about comes back to that, what Ralph Epperson called the law of laws. That's it, cause and effect. So as long as we are assigning cause out there to the problem, the statistic, the whatever the failing is, okay, as long as that's what's in control, we lose because we are the effect of that, right? And effects don't create effects, causes create effects. So I must reevaluate and get a little bit detached, distance, objective, right? And just look at what is, right? We work with what is, right? Here's the stick, here's the problem, here's the down statistic. And then what part of that can I be responsible for now moving forward? Present time, yeah, that was 2 seconds ago. Present time, which is the only time I have any power. Present time, right? I cannot affect, what already happened. And if I'm stuck in, some conversation, some story about what happened, then how much attention, because I've only got so much, right? How much of that am I now putting into postulating future solutions and, engaging in present time? So we can delude ourselves, right? In an extreme sense, we can bury ourselves with the "I am a failure" sort of mantra or whatever. But even on less of an extreme scale, we can dilute ourselves by remaining just in the story about it and not allowing ourselves enough attention to then put onto those solutions, which we're quite capable of. So back to the original point, celebrating wins. What are you capable of as demonstrated by what you did? Yes, you've blundered. Great. Who hasn't? But what have you succeeded at recently, right? This really kind of commingles itself with the whole self-image psychology that Maxwell Maltz talked about in psychocybernetics. What he said is we learn by experience. So if we're looking to build our confidence, it's confidence that comes from having observed and validated and witnessed our own successful action. And again, this is done on a scale or on a gradient, all right? So if someone believes that they are, one example he gave in the book, I don't know how many of you read that book. We do have the whole book review in our members site, right? So in the book study recordings. But one of the examples that he gave was the student who identified as a dumb student. I suck at school or math or whatever. Okay. And what they had to do was to have some wins in that area, abandon the conversation that they were sold from, I guess, ignorant teachers, authority figures, parents, even, I don't know, kind of, distance themselves from that and kind of hit the reset button and have observable wins in the area of their, academic advancement, and then validate that. See, look, that was the correct answer, right? You can learn. And some of the examples that he gave, people went on to experience way above average results once they got rid of the story about why they can't. But that confidence came from actually getting your hands dirty, like actually doing it, and evidence, right? I mean, look, we've got things that we know about ourselves, which I can't talk you out of, right? So Mandy's blonde. Okay, so that's fact, objective fact, right? We don't need to Q&A about that. There's no debate, right? I mean, so something, it may sound too simple, but you look, you see, you observe, you validate that is real. Okay, that's real. Okay, so what can you do? What can you identify, deliberately identify with in your life as part of your character, which reveals you as the successful person? Linda, just before we went live, Linda had advanced in her business actions. Okay, that's real. That's observable. It's not, intergalactic $10 billion, worth of advancement, but it's advancement. The truth is, it's just as true of an advancement as it would be on a larger scale. And in fact, to achieve the larger scale increase, right, just mathematically, right, 1, 2, 3, I mean, you got to go up the scale. So that's good movement. That's real. Okay, hell yeah, I kick ass. I'm doing it, right? Proof. Look at the proof. Great. Now what else could you do, right? Now that you've proven to yourself how able you are. So when I talk about celebrating wins, this is actually a self-therapy kind of stuff. We've talked about before gratitude lists, right? And I've said, on my gratitude list must be not just things that I have, of course, we're grateful for what we have, but things that I can do, accomplish, abilities. In fact, they're like at the top, right? When we really start to think about, all of the blessings, the assets, that we have. In fact, I was even asked, John, if you could have $1 million or your abilities, which would you take? And without hesitation, my abilities, because I make more than $1 million. That's fine, but not without my abilities, right? So the ink on paper or the the effect, right? The money in the bank account or something, that's effect. So what I'm asking you to do is to validate and augment your awareness of every way that you are actually causative in your life. You could start making that list, an abilities list, right? A wins list. And who caused those wins? Oh, you did, right? I think we deserve to speak excellently about ourselves, and we'd still fall short. Okay, but you could speak in superlatives about yourself all day long, Missy, Catherine, Lynn, you could. And it still wouldn't be the whole story. It would be a little piece of the truth. Okay. So what things, I'll say one more thing about this, and then I'd love to ask you to chime in with a couple of things. And it's not a boast, it's not conceit. Okay, it's honest self-appraisal. It's humility, actually. That's what humility means, honest self-appraisal. There went one of my other dog. I don't know if you guys saw Jag. He just went through. Usually I don't have the door open here, but he's nobody else is home except me and the dogs and the chickens that are outside. But what was I going to say before I got taken off course there? So ability, right? And the acknowledgement and the validation of that, celebrating the wins, which are what? Demonstrations of how able you actually are. And then I guess the final piece of that would be to decide what you will accomplish next. Now that you've recognized and acknowledged that you can, okay, set some targets. It could be small, right? Easy to reach targets, okay, but set those to continue to validate and acknowledge the little wins. This is, you know what, the reason I bring this up too is because I already gave you the example. Linda was saying, hey, you need to congratulate me about the thing. I didn't even know because I've had my head in other stuff. And the last thing I would ever want to do is neglect my friend Linda. My shortcoming typically has been, notice I put that in the past, has been, I don't smell the roses. Next. Always, looking, forward, but to whose detriment, right? If I'm not celebrating wins, which is a critical thing to do. If I'm not celebrating wins, I'm missing half the story. I'm working with only half the truth here, right? You see that? So anyway, what thinks you? Do you have some ideas about this? Do you have some wins you'd like to share? Some abilities that have been revealed as of late because you've taken action, you've gotten a result? And on the other hand, are there some things which maybe you've been carrying around, which you can now put in the past and say, hey, you know what? That was 5 minutes ago, man. Hey, it doesn't matter. Here's who I am now. What do you think, Linda? Let's get Linda out here.
Okay, let's see. Put my camera on. There we go.
There she is.
So yeah, I mean, you heard about my rank up win, which is great.
Mhm.
Just a stepping stone, of course. So, but this week also too, I started the R3 weight challenge.
Mhm.
So even though we're not supposed to weigh ourselves, I did. And I'm already down 5 pounds. I know the scale doesn't really tell the story, and then I exercised 3 days this week, which is huge because I haven't picked up a set of free weights in probably 2 years.
Oh,
So that felt awesome. The woman who runs that group is just amazing. She is so energetic and inspirational, and she's awesome.
oh, wow.
So I have a suggestion, and I don't know how you feel about this, but maybe one day a week we can share our wins here in the group.
Mm-hmm.
Keep each other, motivated and just celebrate
Sure.
each other. Yeah.
Okay. Well, how about now? When would now be a good time to do that? There you go.
Well,
We
yeah,
just did
but
it.
like on a regular basis. I mean, that would be
Okay.
something to think about, John, I guess. Yeah.
Well, let's just do it. Let's just do
Yeah.
it, right? So part of and what you just brought up is huge. So Linda's winning in multiple areas of life, right? Here's business and money. Here's the fitness, right? She's doing like a challenge with that. So in both cases, Linda, what you're experiencing is increased order.
Mhm.
Right. So we're putting things in order, right? So here, and the statistics are you lost the 5 pounds. That's valid. I mean, I know the scale is just one datum.
Right.
Right. So in fact, I was having, as a little joke, since it's Fun Friday, I was having a meeting with a bunch of other business leaders, some of which very much deserve to do a weight loss challenge. They deserve that. I'm not going to say need, but deserve. And And so somebody brought a big trays of donuts, and
Mhm.
and this one guy was eating the donuts, and I was like, man, you're like going to town on those donuts. And he's like, yeah, I'm working on my before shots. the before and after, right? I'm working on my before pictures.
Yeah, right. Mhm.
Good justification there. All right, good times. Thank you, Linda. Let's go to Lynn over there in Australia. Hey, Lynn, what you got? Let's get Lynn out here. There's that
Sorry,
doggy.
I've actually locked my dogs out. I'm really sorry about it.
Unbelievable.
Yeah,
And my dog heard it. My dogs heard your dogs, and now they. All right, relax.
oh, that's just cute. Yeah, I basically got so inspired from the last couple of nights here. Last night I ended up working through till 5 this morning, and I finally nutted out this thing with the. It's all right, it doesn't bother me. I finally nutted out this thing that's been sort of holding me back, and so I basically had a bit of a breakthrough, and then having done that, I just kept going, and I was just wide awake and really productive till 5 a.m. So luckily I didn't have to work today.
Wow.
Yeah.
So till 5 a.m. and what did you accomplish? Did you have something quantifiable where you could say, look, that's a win right there?
Yeah, no, it's this thing that's been holding me back. And
Mhm.
I got on top of it and fixed it basically.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Isn't that such a great feeling? It's like, and Missy knows. In fact, Missy made me a custom coffee cup with my favorite 4-letter word on it. Done is my favorite 4-letter word. And so when we get things done, that it's so empowering for me to have, again, acknowledge and validate and recognize that I'm a doer, that I've accomplished this thing that I said I would do. I'm a person of integrity, right? And discipline. I gave myself a command. I followed it. And even if it's a small thing, look, guys, most people experience overwhelm, let's say, as an entrepreneur, which all of us are doing something entrepreneurial here, right? So as an entrepreneur, here's a million things that you could do and that aren't done. Okay. But everything that we get done comes off our calendar, which creates more time for other stuff. But the psychic pay, the reward of that is the acknowledgement of, I did it. And it's so huge. If we look at the anatomy of success itself, it is completing what you start. Everything we've ever succeeded at, ever in our lives, we completed it, right? We did it. We took it to a done. Therefore, the anatomy of failure is not completing or never even starting, right? Just procrastinating and indecision and all that. So this is why I see every little win, Lynn, as to be celebrated, validated, expanded, optimized, right? So thank you for sharing that. I'm so glad you're getting value out of these sessions.
Yeah.
This is awesome. So glad you're here. All right. You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna get you some books because you got some beautiful bookshelves there. We need to put some books.
Oh, that I actually ordered your book today from Amazon.
Wow. Awesome. Like paperback or Kindle?
Oh, not Kindle. I need to. I take more information in when I'm reading paper.
Oh, wow. Okay. Very good. Well, thank you. I think I just made $7. Good times. All right. Let's go to one of the most amazing people that I've ever met in my lifetime, and that is Missy. Hi, Missy. How are you?
Oh, John, that's so sweet. My wins aren't so quantifiable, but instead of letting them linger in the back, I'm going to just bring them out anyway. I'm still making money in my sleep on Etsy. I haven't made a new thing in months and months and months. I'm still selling. Not that much, but it's still better than nothing.
Yeah.
And it always conveys to me that I'm very, very, very good at customer service. These people that they come back and they come back and they come back. So I also, just by working last night I worked till 2:00 in the morning, about 10 o'clock at night till 2 in the morning on my blog, which is about this condition that I have experienced. And when it first started last year, I started it to save my life. And then I found my way through many things to this platform. And at first it was about just giving people knowledge about this thing and so on and so forth. And it's completely changed from being in this world and meeting all these new friends. And a lot of it is directly, you are the cause really of it changing to overcoming this. There's still the knowledge, there's still links, there's still information, because there's still a lot of stupid doctors out there, but it's about overcoming it. And it's 90% mindset and 10% medical. Because I believe the reason I relapsed is because my mindset was not corrected when physiological things happen to me. So that's very, very important to me. I would say I'm about 75% done. I did it all by myself on WordPress that I didn't know anything about. That's a huge thing. I've stuck through it, crashing the hosting companies. I've had to start over from scratch.
I remember you talking about that. That was
So yeah, so that was as for the other thing that most of us are involved in here, I just went through the first month of not having enrolled somebody. And I was, like in this conversation in my mind, like, what am I doing? Like I was making it this big thing. And I just decided to relax from it. And I'm just making my calls I'm still expecting, and I'm still saying things before they make the calls. If they're not coming now, there's maybe a reason. And that's what I'm doing. Because with the pressure with me, I'm like you, it's like then I'm a rat chasing cheese, and it doesn't work. So thank you for giving me this platform and a place to make our wins, even if they're not so quantifiable and gigantic. And congratulations, Linda and Lynn. I know everybody's making a win that we're probably not even aware of. And just up here is the most important place.
Wow, beautiful stuff. Well, we're just getting started.
Missy, can I just interrupt it for a second?
You can.
So Missy had another win this week that she's forgotten about, and that was I texted you, Missy, if you want to read it in the chat. But yeah, I'll let you say it.
Oh, yeah.
I
about a month ago, I was 95 pounds heading into, well, I'm in malnutrition, but I was heading toward a feeding tube because I couldn't eat anything because of this stupid condition. And I've now got weighed yesterday. I'm almost 110 pounds because I had nothing to fit me. It was very nerve-wracking and dangerous. And so it's like a miracle. Thank you, Linda. Thank you. I didn't even think of that as a win, but that's a big, important win. Thank you, honey.
Awesome. Thank you. And see, it's good to have other, allies to put our attention back on. Yeah, you're doing it. So thank you, guys. Anybody else want to share on this this idea? Yes, Lindsay. Hey, Lindsay.
And Missy, you started your day with a great meditation. So you got your mind in the right place. That's another win. So done, check. So yeah, and congratulations, Linda. Yeah, and I don't remember what else I was going to say. I was so excited. Yeah, there's all kind of wins. But I just went completely blank.
Okay.
So
Yeah, part of your experience can just be being in present time. And there you go.
Lindsay's building a team that is going to be unstoppable at a certain point. It's like, it's the Mercury, and then it's the other one, and then she's pretty much building up to Apollo. So acknowledge that. You're a great team leader as well. I see what you do.
Thank you.
Beautiful. Well, thank you, Lindsay. Thank you, Missy. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Anybody else who wants to talk, who's here with us live right now? I don't see any other hot mics. Hey, if you're watching this on YouTube, go to jlsuccessmastermind.com, grab yourself a trial membership. You can join the conversation. We'd love to have you. If you're about like what we're doing here, this is the place to be. So we'll go ahead and wrap up with that. I'm going to be back here with you, with our members at 6 p.m. Eastern for Be Heard. which is a private meeting. We'll talk about whatever you want, business, life, whatever, right? So any questions, anything I could do for you, I'll be here. In the meantime, acknowledge your wins today, right? And like Linda suggested, let's have that as a piece here moving forward, at least once a week, right? So it's not bragging, okay? It's just honest self-appraisal. Yeah, you rock. You're awesome. So love you guys. We'll see you again here real